Good morning everyone. So I'll be starting with the second session of the day today with the very important topic of directions and distance. Okay. So direction sense or concept of directions has been a part of reasoning examinations from a long time, and frequently every year one or two questions can come from this topic. Right. That's a very basic topic, very simple topic, easy to understand. All of us know about different directions: north, south, east, west, right? So it's not something which is really troubling for students, and but sometimes there are some tricky questions that we need to understand how to handle those tricky situations and questions. And once you learn those things, this will become like a cakewalk for you, something very easy to manage in the examination. Okay. All right. So there are two main things that we are going to focus on. One is understanding the concept of directions, which I am sure all of you already know. It's just that we are going to put it in a more structured manner with different tricks and techniques for that, and then problem discussion from the topic of directions. Okay. So let's start with the first of all, let's solve the question from the previous CPP, right, that most students got wrong. So here we have a question based on syllogism. Three statements are there. One is no chairs are beds, some beds are huts, and all huts are houses. Conclusions: all huts being chairs is a possibility, some houses are beds. So let's see here, if I make a Venn diagram for this particular case, no chairs are beds. This is a circle for chairs and this is a circle for beds. No chairs are beds and some beds are huts. So we can put it here, some beds are huts. All huts are houses, so huts will be inside houses. Here we have huts, beds, chairs, beds, huts and houses. And the first conclusion, if you observe the first conclusion, all huts being chairs is a possibility. Can all huts be chairs? Can the complete circle for huts here, this circle, and the complete circle for huts be contained inside this circle for chairs? Now, is that a possibility? Can it happen or not? Now you see here, chair has a negative link with beds because no chairs can be beds. The circle for beds can never overlap with the circle for chairs, and we know that there is a part of huts that overlaps with the circle for beds, and the part of huts, those huts which are beds, can never be chairs. That is why we can say that all huts being chairs is not a possibility. That's very, very important to keep in mind, that if there is an overlap between these two circles, then the circle for huts cannot be completely contained inside the circle for chairs. Okay. Now look at the second conclusion. So the first conclusion is not right. The second conclusion, some houses are beds. Now look at this circle for houses. Clearly the circle for houses overlaps with the circle for beds, right? So yes, the second conclusion is right. That is why the solution is B. Only conclusion 2 follows. Only conclusion 2 follows, right? Only conclusion 2 follows logically. So that is the answer for this question from the previous class practice packs. Now let's start with the discussion of directions. So first thing we see is that we have main directions: north, south, east and west. All of us are familiar with these words, right? The sun rises from the east, the sun sets in the west, right? And we know what is north, what is south. Karnataka is in the south of India. Now you know that north and east, between any of these two directions, the angle is always 90 degrees. That's one very important point to keep in mind. Sometimes we get questions based on finding out the shortest distance between 2 points, and for that we have to use this concept, that the angle between north and east, north and west, between any of these two directions, west and south, south and east, the angle is 90 degrees. Okay, that's one thing. Sometimes you will see a in the question, a person started from his home, he walked 20 meters and then he turned 90 degrees clockwise or 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So the meaning of clockwise and anti-clockwise also should be understood. Turning 90 degrees clockwise in the direction of the clock. 90 degree clockwise means 90 degrees towards your right. Understand this, 90 degrees towards your right if you are going in the any direction you see towards right, or in the direction of the clock. And anti-clockwise means left, correct. So basic terms, understanding basic terms like clockwise and anti-clockwise, that's significant. And then we can see against the direction of the clock. So turning by clockwise or anti-clockwise direction, that can also be a part of a question. Turning 90 degrees clockwise or anti-clockwise, turning 90 degrees towards your right or towards your left, turning 180 degrees towards your right or left, turning 270 degrees towards your right or left. So the angle, multiples of 90, 90, 80, 270, 360, clear. So the main directions north, south, east and west, we all know this. Now in addition to north, south, east and west, we also have the other directions like northeast and northwest, correct. Northeast, northwest, southeast and southwest. So these are the other directions. So total 8 directions we have. Northeast, between north and east we have northeast, and we know the angle between any of these two directions is 45 degrees. We should understand the multiples of 45, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135 degrees, right. So 135 degrees will be 90 degrees plus 45 degrees. If someone tells you that a person turned 135 degrees in the clockwise direction, you should understand what does it mean, clear. So angle between the main directions 90 degrees and the angle between the sub directions 45 degrees. That is a basic overview of the directions that we have. 4 directions main and total directions 8, clear. North, south, east, west, north, east, that is between north and east, northwest between north and west, south east between south and east, and southwest, that is south and west, clear. Now next we will see one question. Let's see how questions are asked from direction sense. Very simple topic, very easy to handle. Gaurav starts walking from his home and walks 20 meters towards north. He then turns left and walks 40 meters. He again turns left and walks 20 meters. Further he moves 20 meters after turning to the right. How far is he from his home, right? How far is Gaurav from his home? Let's solve this question step by step and understand the process involved in solving such questions. Okay. So Gaurav starts walking from his home and walks 20 meters towards north. So let's say this is Gaurav's home, right? This X marks Gaurav's home and he walks 20 meters north. So he will go towards north direction, and this is 20 meters. Let's just write 20 meters north. He then turns left. So if you are going north and then from there you turn left, then you will go towards your west. It turns left and walks 40 meters. Not drawn exactly to scale, just say this is 40 meters. He then again turns left and walks 20 meters. He turns left from here and walks 20 meters. So now he will turn left, he will go south, and so he has walked total of 20 meters going south. He then again turns left and walks 20 meters. So if he is going south and then he turns left and walks 20 meters, which way will he go? Will he go in this direction or this direction? Turning left, when you are going south, you turn left means you go towards east. You turn left and walk 20 meters. How far is he from his home? So what is this distance from here to here? Total distance is 40 from this point to this point. This is 20. So this distance we can say is 40 minus 20, that is 20 meters, right? So that's how we solve normal basic questions from direction sense. That is the first example that we have taken. We will take some more examples and see how and what varieties of questions can come from direction sense. Okay. So let's see the next question. One morning, Sachin walked 20 meters from his home towards south, and then he turned left and walked 30 meters. He then turned left again and walked 20 meters. Finally, he turned left and walked 40 meters and reached a shop. How far and in which direction is the shop from his home? Right. So again you see, let's say this X is the point from where Sachin is going to start, and he walks 20 meters from his home towards south. So from this point, if you go south means you will go down like this. So yeah, he goes 20 meters towards south and then turn left. So which direction will go from here? If you turn left, you will go in this direction. So he turns left and goes 30 meters. This is 30 meters. He then turns left again. So if you are going towards east and then you turn left, you will go towards north. So he then turn left again and walk 20 meters. So that means he comes back on this plane here 20 meters. Finally, he turned left and walked 40 meters. How many meters he is walking? 40 meters. So you are going towards north and you turn left. So we have north, south, see, east, west. So north you turn left, you go towards west and walking a total distance of 40 meters. So we know that this distance is 30 meters because here is given to us, this is 30, clear. So what is the leftover portion from here to here? This distance is equal to 10 meters. So how far and in which direction? So two things are being asked here, how far and in which direction. First let us see how far. The distance from his home, because this X marks his home, the distance from his home is 10 meters, and in which direction is he? He is in the west direction. So 10 meters west. So how far and in which direction is he from his home? He is 10 meters towards the west from his home, right, from his starting point. So sometimes they can ask how far is he from the starting point or how far is he from his home. These different varieties of questions can come from direction sense. Okay. Next let us see this question here. This question is based on clockwise and anti-clockwise movement of figures of a person. So Umar started from his home and walked 40 meters towards east, and then he turned 45 degrees left and walked 20 meters. Then he turned 135 degrees left and walked 40 meters. He then turned 45 degrees left and walked 20 meters before stopping at a point. So the angles that we are going to work here, 45 degrees and 135 degrees. As I discussed earlier itself that 135 degrees means 90 degrees plus 45 degrees, 90 plus 45. Okay. So Umar started from his home and walked, let us say this is his home. Umar started from his home and walked 40 meters towards east. So he is going 40 meters towards east. So let us say this is the distance he has covered, 40 meters towards east, and then turned left and 45 degrees left and walked 25 meters. You see here, if we say this is the line in which he was travelling, this would be 90 degrees left. So 45 degrees left means he is going in this direction. This is what we mean by 45 degrees left. He turned 45 degrees left and walked 20 meters. Let us say this is 20 meters. Then he turned 135 degrees left, right. So again you see here, he is going in this direction. From this direction, we draw a line like this. This angle would be 45 degrees. Now he is turning 135 degrees, that means 90 plus 45. So again, if I take 90 degrees more, so that's total 135 degrees, and walked 40 meters. So from here he will walk 40 meters, something like this. He then turned 45 degrees left and walked 20 meters before stopping. So again from this direction, if he is going, this is the line of sight, 45 degrees left means this direction, and he walks 20 meters. So this is 45 degrees left. This is 40 meters. This is 20 meters. This is also 20 meters. Right. This angle is 45 degrees. This is 45 degrees. This also will be 45 degrees. So you have to start from this. Is actually this is the X point. So how far is he from? This is like a parallelogram. This is a parallelogram. This line is parallel to this line. This line is parallel to this line. This base is 40. This top is 40. This side is 20. This side is 20. So this has to be his point of start. And how far is he from his home? 0 meters. He has come back to his home. So he is back to his home, and the distance from his home is 0 meters. So just understand how we calculate 45 degrees left or 135 degrees left. That has to be the main focus of the solution for this question, right. Once you understand this, even tougher questions on going left or right by some angle you can calculate quite well. So whenever you are saying a person goes 45 degrees left or 135 degrees left, always calculate from the line of sight. From this you always calculate from this line of sight, right, whether he is going right or left. You draw this kind of line. He is going 45 degrees right means he will go this side. This is 45 degrees right. If he goes 45 degrees left, he will go this side. That is what we mean by 45 degrees left. Accordingly you have to solve the question, make the diagrams neatly and get the answer. Next you will see the previous session contest question from the session on square root and cube root that I did today in the morning. What is the difference between the square root of 15376 and the square root of 12769? So if you see here square root, we are finding the square root here. So 15376 is ending in 6. We are cutting all the last 2 digits. Ending in 6 means the square root will end in 4 or 6. 153 is between 12 square 144 and 13 square 169. We will take the small number 12. So 124 or 126. You see 153, if I go by the closer method, like it is closer to which value, the distance between these two is 9, so it is closer to 144. So that means the square root of 15376 is 124. Okay, alright. Now let us see the next one, 12769. cut off the last 2 digits here, 12769, last digit is 9, that means that it will be ending in 3 or 7, because 3 square is 9 and 7 square is 49. 127 is between 11 square 121 and 12 square 144. So 127 is between these two numbers. We take the smaller number 11 and write it here, 113, 117. Now is the answer 113 or 117? That depends on this number. 127 is closer to which side? It's definitely closer to 121. The difference is only 6. That means that the square root of 12769 is 113. Difference between 124 and 113 is equal to 11. So the answer for this contest question is 11. Alright. Now next we will take the contest question for this session. This is a very nice simple one line question. If southwest is northwest, right? So what is southwest called? Southwest direction is not changing. Please understand, southwest direction is not changing, but we are changing the name. If southwest is northwest, we call it northwest, then the sun will rise from which direction? If southwest is northwest, the name is changing, not the direction. If southwest is northwest, then sun rises from which direction? We know sun rises from the east, but now based on this change that we are giving you, that southwest is northwest, based on this change you have to say from which direction the sun will rise. Okay, alright. So now I will be discussing the answer for this contest question in my next session. Meanwhile, we will go back to the direction sense. We will continue with the question discussion, problem discussion. We will take one very interesting question here. One morning, Rita and Savita were talking to each other face to face at a crossing. If Savita's shadow was exactly to the right of Rita, which direction was Rita facing? Right. So if one morning Rita, so two persons are there, Rita and Savita. One morning they were talking to each other face to face at a crossroad, at a crossing. Now this question is based on the concept of light and shadow. So first let us discuss a little bit about light and shadow. All of you understand. We know that shadow will always be in the opposite direction to the light source, right? Shadow is always in the opposite direction of light source. So if light is from east, then shadow will be towards west. We know that sun is in the east in the morning, and if the light source is coming from west, then shadow will be towards east. Similarly, if in a scenario, if light source is coming from north, shadows will be towards south, and light is coming from south, shadows will be towards north. A basic rule of physics that the shadow will always be cast in the opposite direction of the light source. Just say light आ रहा है, shadow इसके opposite side रहेगा. Okay, that's a very very simple thing to keep in mind. And what we should know from our basic understanding, basic GK, that in the morning, sun is in the east direction. So morning can be any time up to 12 o'clock. We say morning, sun is in the east. And in the evening, so when we use the word evening, sun is in the west. So that's a very very basic thing that all of us know. So sometimes in these questions they also mention to you that okay, in which direction the what is the time when they are meeting. Are they meeting in the morning or they are meeting in the evening, right? So according to that information given to you, you have to find out whether what they are trying to tell you. So if this question, this fact that they are meeting in the morning itself is a clue. So one morning, right, that part is also a clue in this question. Okay, so let's solve this question. One morning Rita and Savita were talking to each other face to face at a crossroad. If Savita's shadow was exactly to the right of Rita, so Rita, let's just say this is Rita and this is Savita, and they were talking to each other face to face, just to make an arrow, so they were facing each other with no gap between them. They're talking to each other face to face, and Savita's shadow was to right of Rita. So if Rita is facing Savita this side, then the right of Rita is this side. That means Savita's shadow was to the right of Rita. This is the direction of the shadow. That means sun will be in this direction. You understand? Savita's shadow was to the right of Rita. So if sun is in this direction, the time is morning. That means this is east, this is west. So if you see east, west, north and south, so from east when we go anti-clockwise we get north, then we get west, then we get south, then we get east. So from east if we go anti-clockwise, this is north, this is west, this is south, and this is east. So in direction change question also this part will help you. From east we go anti-clockwise, we get north, west, south, east. Also we can remember that if east is towards your left, then you are facing south, and if east is towards your right, you are facing north. That basic GK also you can keep in mind. So which direction was Rita facing, not Savita? Which direction was Rita facing? Rita was facing south direction. So answer will be south. The answer for this question is south. So this is one typical question from light source and shadow, which is very easy to understand and solve in the examination if you understand these simple concepts. Next we will take this question. Town A is 15 meters north of town B. Town C is 6 meters to the east of town A. Town D is 9 meters to the north of town C. Town E is 1 meter to the east of town D. What is the shortest possible distance between town B and town E? Okay. So based on the information we have to make a diagram. Town A is 15 meters, or say kilometers you can say, because we are using anyhow this is just for the matter of solving the question, so let's keep it like that. Okay. Town A is 15 meters north of town B. So let's start from this point and say this is town B. Just to put in a box. Okay. Let's say this is town B, and town A is 15 meters north of town B. So let's say this is 15 meters north of town B. So this is the position of town A. So again I will make a box here. Alright, so this is town A. Town C is 6 meters to the east of town A. So from here town A, if we take 6 meters towards east, let's say this is 6 meters, and this is the position of town C. Town D is 9 meters north of town C. Okay, so again we can say, okay, this let's take this 9 meters, and this is the position of town D. What is the shortest? Town E is 1 meter to the east of town D. So again we will take 1 meter this side and say this is town E. Okay. Now what is the shortest distance between town B and town E? This distance we have to calculate. This distance from town B and town E. Let us complete this triangle itself here. So, what is this total distance? Let us find this out. So, this is 9, this is 15, the total is 24, so this is 6, this is 1, so this total is 7. So, basically we are getting a right angle triangle, we are getting a right angle triangle with one side as 7, one side is 24. So, what is the third side equal to? This third side is the shortest distance. The third side will be equal to under root 7 square plus 24 square, that is under root 49 plus 576. Now, adding 49 plus 576 you get 625, and under root 625 is equal to 25. So, what is the answer? The answer is 25 meters, that is answer option C. So, making the diagram and then finding the shortest distance means using the concept called as Pythagoras theorem, that is a part of geometry. Now, what we should know here is this concept, that in a right angle triangle, so this is a right angle triangle, angle is 90 degrees, we have three vertices A, B, C. This longest side is called the hypotenuse, and we have what is called as the Pythagoras theorem, that the sum of the square of the adjacent sides or the smaller sides is equal to the square of the largest side. So, this formula is used sometimes while solving questions on direction sense. Now, in geometry we will be studying these things separately also, but for time being you can note it down, that in a triangle with one angle 90 degrees, the square of the smaller sides, the sum of the squares of the smaller sides will be equal to the square of the largest side, and then using this formula we can find out the shortest distance between 2 points. Okay, the shortest distance between 2 points is always a straight line. Now, we will see the next example from direction sense. So, Ram started from his home and walked 20 meters towards east, and then he turned left and walked 10 meters. Further, he turned 270 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction and walked 40 meters. Ram then turned right and walked 10 meters, and finally he turned right again and walked 15 meters. How far is he from his home? Right? Alright. So, let us see here, first of all 270 degrees. What is the meaning of 270 degrees? 270 degrees is 3 times 90 degrees. If you are turning 270 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction, what does it mean? Let us say, let us keep this here, let us make a direction point here. Okay, this, let us say you are here, you are this point, you are going straight, you will go in this direction, you are turning 90 degrees 3 times. So, first you turn 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction, then again 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction, and again 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction. So, you have to start going in this direction now. We are turning 270 degrees anti-clockwise. Can we say that turning 270 degrees anti-clockwise is same as turning 90 degrees in clockwise direction? Yes or no? You see, very simple. Turning 270 degrees anti-clockwise is same as turning 90 degrees in the clockwise direction. Both will be same. So, this is what we should keep in mind while solving this question. So, if we solve this question, Ram started from his home, let us say this is his home, and walked 20 meters towards east, 20 meters towards east, then he turned left and walked 10 meters. So, he will go this side 10 meters. Further, he turned 270 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction. So, again 270 degrees anti-clockwise is same as 90 degrees clockwise. So simply we will say he turned 90 degrees clockwise and walked 40 meters. So this is 40 meters. Ram then turned right and walked 10 meters. Okay, he comes back here. This is 10 meters. And finally he turned right again. So from this point he is turning right and walked 15 meters. 15 meters. So how far is he from his home? What is this distance? So this distance is equal to 40 minus 15, that is equal to 25 meters. So the important take back from this question is that in these kind of scenarios where we are turning 270 degrees anti-clockwise, we should find out immediately or understand immediately that 270 degrees anti-clockwise is same as 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, that part we should keep in mind. So that will simplify this entire question, make it easier for you to solve. Now direction sense is a simple topic, easy topic. Some tricky questions based on light and shadow and other such things can come, or based on turning 135 degrees or 270 degrees clockwise or anti-clockwise. From exam point of view, if you say the IBPS prelims or IBPS mains, you can expect maximum 1 to 2 questions from this topic. So it's not a very important topic from the time being right now. And if you get a question from direction sense, most likely it will be as a data sufficiency question. So direction sense mostly comes nowadays as a data sufficiency. They give you information in 2 or 3 statements, and then combining the information, or we have to decide whether we need to combine the information and solve the question, or what should be our approach. Data sufficiency we will be discussing later on along with data interpretation. But direction sense is a constant part of most of the aptitude examination, including banking. And in banking examination, 1 to 2 questions most likely under data sufficiency will come in your prelims and mains examination. Okay, so I have completed this entire concept of directions, angles between directions, light and shadow, and other related concepts with lots of examples in this video. Follow these videos and then you can solve questions and practice on your own. So now is the time for your CPP. Those who have passport access can start solving the question once you hear the sound. And there are 10 questions from directions which I have selected carefully for you, so that you can practice the concepts that you have learned in this video session, right? So best of luck to you. Start solving the questions now, and I will be discussing the questions which most people get wrong in my next session. Thank you.